Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. Today we got another Dr. Insanity video. He's got a lot of stuff for us to do, so we'll keep reacting to him. And this one is, a husband realizes his wife is the murderer. We gonna get right into this, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like button, hit subscribe button, comment thing down below. Let's go.
I can't see her doing something like that. She's super intelligent. I can't.
This is the moment Zach realized his wife, Ashley, was a secret murderer. Police found Taylor Wright, a friend of his wife, lying dead on his property. Police suspect Ashley was the murderer, but Zach refused.
That is insane, though. Imagine they found a body on a friend of your wife's body on your property. You're like, yeah, couldn't have been them. Someone planned it there. It just happened to purposely plan it on the house of the friend of hers. It just happened to be that way.
Refuses to believe it. Little did he know, he was about to get the shock of his life in the interrogation room.
Can you tell me how you came to know Taylor?
Through working PI cases.
Okay.
She'd come over to our house every now and then. She met my wife. They became friends.
Did you guys ever have a falling out or?
Never. From doing this job for so long, I would just pick up little lies from her. Stuff just didn't start seeming right. She would disappear for days. You couldn't get her on the phone. Greg and I would try to call her. You couldn't get her on the phone.
Taylor had been known to go missing for days at a time.
That is so bizarre. Imagine that. Imagine that. Just have someone go missing. Someone you know who goes missing days at a time, just ends up dead on your property. Like, let's imagine, okay, the wife did it, but let's pretend the wife did it. Could you imagine how you would have to explain this? And how you would hope they figure out how that got there? Because if I found a body on my property, I know I didn't kill them. I don't know what the hell I'd do. It'd be just fucking weird.
But this time was different. She hadn't been seen for over a month before she was found. Early on, cops believed her disappearance was nothing out of the ordinary, but she'd left everything at home, and what little texts she sent to her friends were in language she wouldn't normally use.
I mean, I'm sure now you've read the news and everything.
Yeah.
You kind of know the date that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Have you had a chance to go back and pinpoint where you were on the 8th of September?
I can't remember, but I'm trying to do the very best I can so I could tell y'all the best I can. I went to the bank yesterday to pull my statement. I know I ate lunch at the seafood place at 9 Mile in Pine Forest. I ate there, and I remember eating by myself, and I remember Ash not being able to make it because she was tied up with work.
Taylor was last seen on the 8th of September. So Zach attempts to recount what he was doing that day. Given that he used his debit card to purchase food in the area, it's likely that his story is true. What's interesting...
So as far as he knows, so she's like, she couldn't make it because she was tired of work, right? So she was working, so clearly they do it. He's trying to make sure he plants in their head that she was doing stuff, so it couldn't have been her either. Because he's trying to protect his wife, right? But because he also just can't fathom the thought that she would just take a life. Like, he can't fathom that. Because you wouldn't want to think that. You wouldn't want to think your significant other, if, you know, is just able to take a life like that. You wouldn't want to admit that to yourself. You wouldn't want that to be true. Doesn't mean it isn't, though.
No, is that he mentioned he was out on his own as his wife was busy with work. It seems that he fully believes this to be the truth. And while he knows his wife has been questioned about the murder, he doesn't know that she's currently the #1 suspect. The cops aren't trying to learn more about the case. They're trying to determine if Zach had a hand in the murder, or at the very least, turn him against his own wife.
Do you know anything about this money that Taylor had given you all?
No, absolutely not. She's never given me anything. I've never got anything from that. No.
Okay. Do you know anything about your finances?
No, to be honest. I give her when I work a case or and I got a settlement from my attorney, I hand it straight to Ash. She takes care of everything.
The money the detective is referring to...
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't ever do... I'm literally dead serious. Don't ever do that. Don't ever give if you listen, any man or woman, don't do this. Don't ever give your finances to a significant other and do not pay attention to it. Always have an eye on your finances, your damn money, because anything can happen if they know you're not paying attention. They could take some, they could do some. I'm not saying they will, but the possibility is there. Always at least be able to keep an eye on your finances. Don't ever just completely not pay attention to it. Don't.
To here is a sum of $34,000 that Taylor had given to Ashley for safekeeping. Taylor was going through a divorce and wanted the money away from her own accounts. But instead of putting it in a safety deposit box as promised, records show Ashley put it into her own accounts. By the time Taylor wanted it back, she'd already spent all of it. Coincidentally, Taylor only asked for it back on the 8th of September. If it's
Oh yeah, that's all I need to see. Like, oh, that doesn't look good, does it? Oh, if she went over to me, if they just said to me, listen, on the 8th of September, Taylor went over to see Ashley and wanted this money back from her, and now she was found dead. That, like, it would have been a month later. We found her dead a month later, but we determined she died that day. I'm like, oh, really? You're like, yeah. I'm like, that doesn't look good, does it? Ew, that doesn't look good at all, does it? Like, my brain would be like, I still wouldn't want to believe she did it. I'm like, I can't argue, that looks wrong, that looks bad. Like, I couldn't ignore it. That looks bad on her, God. Oh boy, that'd be a tough one to get past.
It's not already obvious by now, Zach is a very caring person who obviously trusted his wife a lot. So far, he's provided solid answers to where he was when Taylor disappeared and his involvement in the couple's finances, equating to almost none. But the detectives have to rule out any involvement whatsoever, so they decide to discuss where the body was found.
The property up on Britt Road, and that's owned by her aunt and uncle. Have you ever been out there?
Yeah.
When's the last time you think you were out there?
The last time I went out there is when I traded my four-wheeler for a side-by-side, and that's the last time I've been. Before that, it was, I couldn't tell you.
But when was that?
A couple months back.
Your phone number, the 554 number, do you always keep that on you?
Yeah, I reckon.
Do you ever loan it out to anybody?
No.
Okay.
No.
Would you ever loan it to?
He says he's a PI, right? I don't know if that actually means private investigator or if that's something else. But if that's what it is, I mean, his job involves needing a phone at any given moment. So that's one of those. Yeah, he ain't probably gonna give up his phone.
Anybody or?
No.
Do you remember Ashley ever using it, taking it with her?
No. Never.
Okay. Did it ever get lost or stolen or anything and get replaced?
No, not that I recall.
Okay.
This might seem like a random question, but phone records actually played a huge part in uncovering the truth in this case. Not only did they show Ashley on the property Taylor was found dead at on the 8th, but they also showed Taylor's phone at a wedding Ashley attended the very next day. But Taylor was never seen at the wedding or anywhere else after that date. Detectives here are just trying to confirm that if suspicious activity was discovered from Zach's phone records, there would be no way to argue that it wasn't him in control of the phone. But remember, Zach still has very little idea surrounding the true nature of this case. He doesn't know how much evidence the cops have against his wife. All he's doing is defending himself and providing answers that'll hopefully solve the case.
I appreciate that thing, because like, you would obviously, I do find hilarious though. Like, because you would think you would probably do both answers to give both your wife and you a way out. But in his mind, he's focused on himself. Which maybe he should be. I mean, if I was charged for if a body was found in my thing, because I'm like, okay, there's only two people who could have done it. It could have been me or it had to have been my wife. Okay, well, there were only two people here that was on this property. I know I didn't do it, so I'm gonna focus on that. I know I didn't do it. I don't know what she was doing. I wasn't there. But I know I didn't do it.
So given his compliance so far, the detectives decide to try and question him about some more physical evidence.
Do you own any 9mm
Yeah.
handguns? What kinds?
My Glock.
Just one or
Yeah. When I've got a lot of guns. So a lot. I think one Glock 9.
what model?
19.
19? Okay. Do you know how Taylor died?
For Ackerman told me that the girl was shot, and he heard that from Mulchan.
So Ackerman told you and he got it from Mulchan?
Yeah.
Okay. And did he elaborate on anything else?
He just said that they thought the girl was shot.
Okay. Did you ever buy Ashley a gun or anything of that nature?
Man, over the years, yeah. Yeah. I bought her a 380 one time.
What kind?
PPK.
Okay. And does she carry a firearm?
I haven't seen her one in quite a while. Not at all. Mm-mm.
Do you own a 38
I-
airweight?
Yes. And that, I mean, she used to, that's the last thing I ever remember seeing her with was a 38 airweight. And that was, I haven't seen her with that in I don't know how long.
I mean, I'm interested. Did you kill or participate in the death
Absolutely
of?
not. I would
What
never.
is this question?
Okay. Go ahead.
Did you kill or participate, or do you have any knowledge?
Zero, Jason. Absolutely none. I don't want to be nowhere near it, nothing involved with it, nothing. I know.
He's just straight getting the point. He's like, he asked, and he's like, no, don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. I don't know anything. I don't know what happened. I don't want nothing to do with this. I don't even want to know this. I wish I didn't even know this happened on my property. Could you have not just told me this? I don't want nothing to do. I don't even want to know this happened.
Nothing about it.
The detectives are now trying to ramp up the pressure slightly. Zach has seemed extremely comfortable up to this point, and they're likely just trying to test whether that's because of the more casual nature of the interview so far, or if it's because he genuinely is innocent. However, Zach stays calm, and his body language confirms this. As the pressure mounts, Zach doesn't lean back, cross his arms, or really become closed off in any way as a guilty person may. Instead, he leans forward, maintains eye contact, and his statements are clear and concise. His posture here is one of confidence and cooperation. His feet are flat on the ground, and he's leaning towards the detectives, proving that he feels safe around them, and that he's got nothing to hide. In fact, this is just one of two different positions Zach has assumed throughout the interrogation. The other being a more casual, upright position with his hands and legs.
I love learning this information on how this, like, how people take this. I love this information. This is amazing to me. But yeah, he's literally showing no signs of worry or anything, because he knows he didn't do it.
It's open. Zach is doing everything he can to appear innocent, and yet the pressure continues to mount.
What do you think happened to Taylor?
I couldn't tell you, Jason. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, nobody deserves to ever get anything happen to them like that whatsoever. I don't know, buddy. I don't know what happened to her.
And, I'm asking you, as this investigation continues, whether it's text, phone records, computers, financials, is there going to be anything that hems you up or
No,
ties you
absolutely
to that?
nothing.
Well, not just being involved in the actual murder, but as far as, afterwards.
Helping conceal.
If any person in this world was like, hey, Zach, come help me do something, I would run from that mother as fast as I could.
Let me just.
That is my type of answer right there. That is my answer in any. That is how you answer that question. They're just like, hey, if there's any, if any afterward, if you helped it. He's like, if anyone came over to me and said, hey, can you help me move this body thing? I'm running as fast as I can from that motherfucker. That is my type of answer right there. There you go, Zach. You're my guy.
Hell, it's all over the news.
Yeah.
You've read it.
Yeah, I've read
Right.
it, and I'm
And I mean,
trying to swallow it and figure it out. I mean, it's like, it's terrible.
but you've read it, so you know at least some of the details. Just based upon that and your knowledge of the job that we do and the job that you used to do, what's your thought?
Feelings aside,
This is a very interesting thing here. Listen, because they're like, hey, you know this case. You know how this works. You know, you've been in this type of employment before. You know how this works. You know the details. With your knowledge of this, what do you think happened? Which is a very interesting way to put it.
Just logically.
I can't see her doing something like that. I mean,
He knew it immediately. He knew it immediately because he knows the only other option is her, but he can't see her doing it. But so he's trying, in his head, he's sitting there trying to convince him, trying to figure out a way that it can't be her. And I feel like he can't do it.
super intelligent. You know, she's got a
Master's degree.
yeah, or is it master's or I don't know, one of the two. And that's just sloppy. I mean, that's sloppy. I can't see her doing that.
There's obviously a lot going.
That is a very interesting way he put that. He's just like, no. See, she couldn't have done. That's too sloppy if she was gonna kill someone. That's too sloppy of a way to do it. No. She has to. See, she'd be way more professional. You wouldn't even know she killed someone if she killed someone. Let me tell you something. She got a master's degree and everything.
Going on in Zach's head right now. He obviously doesn't want to believe his wife killed someone, but his years of experience as a PI, coupled with all the evidence against his wife, logically have to be convincing him otherwise. Not only were there the bank statements and the cell phone records, but Ashley was even caught on camera at a hardware store purchasing the exact same type of cement that was used to fill Taylor's grave. At this point, though, the detectives have seen all they need to. Zach takes a minute to discuss a few things with his lawyer, and he signs a search warrant allowing them to obtain all his cell phone records. Eventually, Zach is cleared of any wrongdoing and is allowed to return home. His wife, however, was a different story.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Ashley MacArthur, guilty of first-degree premeditated murder with a firearm as charged in the indictment.
Ashley MacArthur was sentenced to life in prison with a mandatory sentence of 25 years and is now serving her time away from her husband behind bars.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think of this in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all for the next one.